Sit back, strap in, and get ready for After Hours with TC Restani. This is Abigail Harwich, executive producer, welcoming you to the show. And now, TC Restani!
Alrighty, welcome to the After Hours with TC Restani, the podcast. I'm TC Restani, emanating from the palatial podcast penthouse here at Restani Productions with my co-hosts Ricky Bittman and Quincy Briscoe. We're a little somber down here on the podcast because we've had some major celebrity deaths since our last episode, starting off with Malcolm-Jamal Warner, who played Theo Huxtable on the #1 rated show in the 1980s, without question, The Cosby Show.
Yeah.
And
54 years old.
54, the same age I am.
Scary and drowning.
And he passed away, and he drowned in Costa Rica, of all places. When I heard that he drowned, and it was the summertime, I was like, was he up on the East Coast, like Hampton Beach, Salisbury Beach? Because, you know, the undertow there always sucks people out.
Yeah, you got to be very careful.
But that's pretty sad that Theo Huxtable died, or Malcolm-Jamal Warner. Quincy, what's your take on that? I know you're a big fan of The Cosby Show.
I think that's... Can I just say it in plain English? It sucks.
You're right. It does.
You know, when I heard like the Theo Huxtable and everything, then someone told me that with the questions that it's senseless. Like, doesn't make any sense. How can a guy like that, when says he could swim, but then when someone told me like, well, a tide. So I might take it for granted. You told me like he died. And the tide was high, and where was this now?
This is down in an island down near, where's Costa Rica? Like Central America or somewhere down
South
there.
America,
somewhere down there, somewhere warm. Quincy, if you're out in the water, this could happen to you at Revere Beach.
Yeah.
I mean, if the tide takes you and sucks you out to the ocean, you're done. All right.
So in other words, you got to be careful with high tides.
It's not going to be, well, obviously, yeah, it is high tide, because low tide, you're not going to get sucked out. But I'm just saying, once you're out in the ocean, if you're like 10 feet off the beach, swimming there, there's lifeguards and whatnot. But the further you go out, that ocean is not kind to humanity. It'll get you. If Jaws don't get you, then the waves will.
Yeah, very scary.
So
you have to respect the sea.
So you got to be careful when you go into these waters.
Right, exactly. So we don't know what happened to the poor guy. He was out there, and the ocean got him. I mean, it happens.
Jesus, he did. You say yourself, The Cosby Show. He did what else? He did a lot of things.
He did a bunch of other stuff, but he's mostly known as Theo Huxtable on The Cosby Show in the 1980s. I believe that show started in 1984 and went to like 92 or 3 or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, the truth of the matter is, I knew Bill Cosby and Fat Albert, then The Cosby Show.
Okay, well, this has nothing to do with him.
Well, right? I'm not. I know, but I'm just saying how it happened. If you don't mind my saying, if it wasn't for Bill Cosby,
right,
then there wouldn't be a Theo Huxtable.
I thought you were going to say if it wasn't for Bill Cosby, Theo Huxtable would be
right.
alive today. That's
So,
something we don't.
In that order.
Well, he's kind of right. If Bill Cosby never did the show, then he never would have been cast and had the money. He never would have vacationed in Costa Rica. Yeah. So it's Bill Cosby's fault.
I told him not to go swimming in the ocean. And what does he do? He goes swimming in the ocean.
A lot of those women wish that was Bill Cosby that was out in the water. They got,
Yeah. Why couldn't have been Bill? Huh?
It could have been. He could have drowned in a pudding pop.
Yeah, with that liquidy, milky eye. Would you drink milk out of his eye?
No.
Unbelievable. And then we move on to one of the biggest names in the history of rock and roll, Ozzy Osbourne.
And I just realized why Chuck Mangione kind of got glossed over. He died on the same day as Ozzy. So this is kind of a two. So
that's who did that song?
Yes, Chuck Mangione.
Oh, wow, that's sad. I like that song.
Yeah, I think he played the flugelhorn. A lot of people call him a trumpetist, but I think it was a flugelhorn.
It's kind of like, he died in the same day as Ozzy.
Yes.
Which is kind of like when Farrah Fawcett died, then 3 hours later, Michael Jackson died.
Yes.
It's like, wait a minute, Farrah Fawcett died? He was my favorite angel. Holy shit, Michael Jackson died?
Exactly.
No one cared about poor Farrah after that.
And I felt bad, but I mean, listen, rest in peace, Chuck Mangione. And it's sad because he was an integral part of the storylines of King of the Hill, which is one of my favorite shows.
Unbelievable.
And they're rebooting that come next month. And then to have Ozzy go.
Ozzy Osbourne. I mean, he transcended rock and roll.
And he just left you that message.
That's true.
Congratulate
you.
on
Well, thank you,
everything.
Ozzy. I mean, he did that final Black Sabbath concert like 3 weeks before he passed away.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he knew and that was his final goodbye.
I heard different tales about this. I'm glad you brought that up. Some people said that he instructed his wife that he was going to stop all his medication that he's taken for ALS, and because I guess it makes him very.
Well, they had Parkinson's.
I'm sorry, Parkinson's.
Yeah.
So, I guess the medication, to a degree, as much as it helped manage his pain, it kind of limited him, and he wanted to be up for this. So he sacrificed, I guess, a lot to make sure he was going to be up for this show. And then I heard some people say that he convinced his wife to take him to Switzerland so he could
off himself.
Yeah.
I've heard people that have those diseases do that.
Yeah. So
because it's legal there.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, this guy was beyond rock and roll. Everybody in the world knew who Ozzy Osbourne
and and if you didn't, once the Osbournes came on television, he became a household name.
So I became familiar with Ozzy Osbourne during the Bat incident.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I mean, that was like a local legend when I was like, when did that happen? Like 83 or something?
Yeah, that would be about right.
So around that time. So I was like 12 and it was a talk of the playground.
Yeah.
This is like a year into MTV. So they were, Ozzy Osbourne bit the head off a bat at a concert. I was like, what? Like a bat? And he was like, yeah, like the bat.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. So that was like, that was his... Well, what would you call that?
It just became like folklore.
His folklore, yeah.
There's a lot of stories that he bit a head off a bat because he thought it was a rubber bat that someone, which I could kind of see. Who's going to throw a bat on the stage?
Why did it fly away?
Yeah, exactly. I once saw ZZ Top play live up at the Worcester Centrum, and they had livestock on stage with them, goats and stuff.
Okay.
And I kept saying to myself, what are they going to do to these animals? And of course, they did nothing. But because of Ozzy, I was like, all right, someone's going to do something terrible to these. And they didn't.
Are they gonna?
No.
They have a chicken on stage or something?
Chainsaw the goat right on stage.
It's okay. It's religious freedom. It's
We're doing this for Ozzy.
we're sacrificial lamb. It's a biblical thing. But that was sad. I mean, from all the accounts of people I've known that have met Ozzy Osbourne, hell of a nice man.
And you know who had one of the nicest, sweetest tributes was Pat Boone. They were neighbors for a while.
He's still alive?
Yeah. He's I guess he's in his 90s, but they were neighbors, and it was part of that was played out on the Osbournes. Because at one point, they're having a dispute with their neighbors over a wall. And for some reason, Sharon Osbourne throws this giant spoiled ham from the refrigerator over the wall. And at one point, you can hear her say, I wish Pat still lived there. And everyone was like, what was that all about? And she goes on to tell that Pat Boone lived next door to them, and they were great neighbors. And Pat Boone confessed, he goes, when they moved in, I didn't know this was Ozzy Osbourne. I just thought this was my nice, sweet new neighbor. And it was like till a few weeks later, he was like, oh my God, this is Ozzy Osbourne. But they became really close friends, and he was very sorry to hear.
Talk about total ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, but they, people are people, and he said he was a nice man.
Well, Ozzy was, I'm saying most of that was a gimmick,
Of course.
So, I don't think he was walking around the house like, sure he did for the cameras for the reality show, but prior to that, he was probably his name was what, like John Osborne, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
So he was probably just sitting at home, Sharon, change the channel, I'm tired of watching this.
And he was one of the founding members of one of the greatest metal bands of all time, Black Sabbath.
Right.
I mean,
I had a friend whose dog's name was Sabbath.
Really?
Yeah.
For that reason?
Of course, 100%.
All right.
That dog was around probably like in the late 70s, early 80s.
Oh, God,
so 100% for that.
But and they kicked him out because of substance abuse. He was having too much fun. At one point, he used to drink 4 bottles of cognac a day.
Was he Andre the Giant?
Dude, I'm telling you, cognac is one of the most disgusting things in the world.
Does it taste like aftershave?
I don't know, because somebody poured a shot of it for me one time out of this bottle that I think cost $1,200.
$1,200
for 1 bottle of booze. And I might be short changing it there.
Jesus.
Dude, I ain't kidding you. I'll look it up while we're talking here, but it's called Louis the something. Anyway,
Louis De Palma?
I would have drank that. His sweat. But I said, please don't. I don't know how much that's worth in that thing, but it's don't waste it on me. So, but he was doing 4 bottles.
4 bottles of cognac.
I can only.
The first time I ever heard the word cognac was in the movie Patton.
Well, that was big. Yeah, I could see that.
So, and I don't want to use this as a pun, but the main event death we had today, as we're recording this,
so fresh,
July 24th, 2025, not even 12 hours ago, the Immortal Hulk Hogan passed away.
Yeah.
And that hit the world like a leg drop.
Now, when I texted you, had you heard?
I heard from so many people prior to you, but it was all in a row. The first person I heard...
No, notice you didn't tell me.
Well, because you already knew. The first person that called me was John, the autograph collector.
Okay.
And then my nephew, because he's a huge sports fan, so he's always looking at ESPN or whatnot, so obviously that's where he got the news.
Yeah.
And then everybody on the planet, people I haven't heard from in 10 years, like, did you hear about the Hulkster brother? You know, all this stuff. I had the pleasure of meeting Hulk many, 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 many times.
Lucky.
At autograph signings, but also backstage when he was in WCW. And every encounter I had with Hulk Hogan was a positive encounter. He was a very nice, cordial, polite guy. And he was very, respectful of the fans because he grew up in the old school of wrestling that, without the fans, you're nothing.
Yeah.
And boy, did he make an impact on this world.
He certainly did. I mean, I look back at my interest in wrestling that started before Hulk even came back onto the scene. And I think the first time I really saw him and recognized him from somebody that I had seen kind of a few times watching wrestling was in Rocky 3.
Rocky 3, yeah.
That's when I was like, whoa, this dude. And I'm like, and I was lucky enough, I do have the Thunder Lips Ultimate Male Rocky action figure.
Wow.
Somewhere. I bought that. It's very rare.
Because Rocky 3 came out in 82.
Yeah, that would make sense.
And that was 2 full years before he beat the Sheik at Madison Square Garden.
But I mean, I was like, that was just so impressive, and it was like, because we had all been wrestling fans. And when that scene came in Rocky 3, this is back before the internet where you don't get everything spoiled by yourself.
Sure.
This just completely surprised us. And when he threw
Stallone.
Rocky, he threw him over the thing. I was like, this is the best thing in the world. And that sound when he gave him the Hogan leg drop sounded like an elephant.
All fake, meatball. All fake.
Blast off, meatball! He throws him right over the rope.
And that movie catapulted him.
It did.
into the superstardom. And he appeared on Johnny Carson. Nobody remember. This was years before he was the Hulkster in the WWF.
Yeah.
So you can go on YouTube and watch that interview, and Hulk's playing along. Oh, yes, sir, Mr. Hogan, sir. Yeah, because he's a giant. He's enormous.
Yeah.
And you could even see. The charisma wasn't as polished yet as much as it was, a couple years later.
Yeah.
But you could see that this guy was it.
He was the total package.
He
Not to take anything away from Lex Luger.
Well, there's a lot you would have to talk about Lex Luger. Lex Luger owes his career to a guy like Hulk Hogan.
And
everybody in wrestling, from prior to, not prior, but right after Hulk Hogan, owes it all to them because he was the one who took wrestling along with Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't for both of them.
I'll give you that, yeah.
Hulkamania and the WWF would not have been a national phenomenon or worldwide phenomenon. It would still have been a Northeast regional promotion. Yeah. I mean, Bob Backlund held the title for 6 years, but Bob Backlund didn't take that company into the stratosphere.
He did not have what it took.
Hulk Hogan had charisma. Vince McMahon Jr., when he took over the company from his father in 1982 or 83, realized, okay, what we're doing is entertainment. We're a show. Mm-hmm. I need my Elvis. Yeah. I need a superhero.
Well put.
And Hulk Hogan comes down the line, and he strapped a rocket on him and launched it, and the rest is history. Here we are 40 years later, and it's still the #1 wrestling promotion on the planet.
Absolutely. I can remember being at the Boston Garden before, all the copyright issues came into play with Eye of the Tiger.
Right.
And he was still using that after Rocky 3. But when, they would announce him and that music would come on. Because, nowadays, the music is just such a big part of it. He was the only one that had music, I think, back in those days. Or at least one of the first ones.
He was one of the first ones, sure.
And when you like that, that or Freebird from the Freebirds.
Right.
It just, you can feel your skin start to
I was telling my nephew, who's now 20 years old and goes to sporting events at the Boston Garden, or, the Celtics and the Bruins, and he goes, oh, it's really loud in there.
Oh.
And I go, no way. Yeah. I go, and his father backed me up on this. He goes, I agree with you, they're loud. But I witnessed this personally, that if you went to the Boston Garden in, say, 1987, I'm just giving that as an example, because that was the peak of Hulkamania right after WrestleMania 3. When Hogan's music hit and he came out, literally, they used to say it in commentary, the roof of the building just came off the building.
Yeah.
You have no idea the pop that he got.
Yeah.
And when he was getting his ass kicked by the heel and he started making his comeback,
hulking up,
the fucking building shook.
It did.
Because people in the balcony were stomping their feet, and then everybody else was started stomping their feet. And as soon as he did the finger of raising it up, I'm surprised more people aren't deaf from what happened in those buildings, because it was literally like dynamite exploded.
And that's before all this BS now with the booms and the pops and the videos and everything. It was just a spotlight on two guys and a referee in a ring doing this stupid thing.
One guy twirling his finger, and he just
everybody knew what was coming.
As he got hulked up, and then he did the three simple things. He did the punches, he threw the guy against the ropes, gave the boot to the face, dropped the leg, posed for 10 minutes, and everybody went home happy.
Did the ear, and
to this day, I've never heard an audience explosion like that. And all the wrestlers hated coming to Boston because we were the rowdiest fans that they ever encountered, but we were also the loudest fans. I mean, when Hogan came down to that ring in that building, he had to have more security than the president, because everybody wanted a piece of him. Everybody wanted that shirt or that headband or whatnot. And he, fortunately for us, we grew up in a big metropolis. We saw that, or Hogan, like 7 or 8 times a year.
Yeah. He came to the Boston Garden a lot.
A lot. So it wasn't like, it's a one-time deal. Hulk Hogan's coming down. No. You saw him like 3 months in a row. Then he'd take a month or two off. Then he's back for another 3 months. Because he knew this is where his bread was buttered. Big metropolis like Boston, Madison Square Garden, the Philadelphia Spectrum, Los Angeles, Chicago. All those towns, if you grew up in the 80s and you were a wrestling fan, you got to see all the legends. And if you were a Hulkamaniac, I was not. I'm going to raise my hand. I was a fan of always the bad guys because they were always more entertaining. But Hogan, deep down, you were a fan, even though you didn't like him, because just the magic that you saw and the electricity that he generated from just waving his finger. It was insane.
And don't forget, Hogan knows best.
Well, he did know best because he sold the most tickets.
He did.
Well, he had a TV show.
He did, but that was 20 years later.
Yeah, but and all the true wrestling fans like that show, that he put on, though.
It was an okay show, but I'm talking about
no Osbournes, but it was good.
Yeah, no. Actually, was that before or after the Osbournes? Was Hogan first or the Osbournes?
You've got a better mind for that stuff. I don't know.
Well, whatever.
I think it was after.
Oh, you tell us.
Because we're talking like Hogan here. Yeah, well, I think he had to put that on in the same line as the wrestling. He knew what he was doing, right?
Oh, he was a tremendous marketer for himself.
Yeah.
I mean, he was basically, I'm the Hulk Hogan brother, and I'm going to... He was the first wrestler that was merchandised.
Oh, yeah.
When you think about it, sure, they may have had a poster here and there or an 8x10.
I got the big one, the big Hulk doll.
Oh, the big 12-inch one, yeah.
It's in pristine condition, not in the box, though, but I should bring it up next time.
But, I mean, Vince McMahon took a page from George Lucas. He realized the big money was in merchandising.
Sure.
So we're going to put Hogan's face on a lunchbox. Every kid wants to have a Hulk Hogan lunchbox. Yeah. T-shirts, hats, posters, bath towels, workout videos, everything that guy was on. Ice cream bars.
That's right. And he hosted Saturday Night Live.
He did host Saturday Night Live. And I think to this day, someone out there may correct me, but February 5th, 1988 was the big rematch of Hulk and Andre from WrestleMania 3 on NBC. It was the one where they had the twin referees and they cheated Hogan out of the title.
Earl Hebner and his brother.
Okay. They drew 33 million people to watch that.
Imagine that.
33 million. Now, everybody's going, there was cable and whatnot. Back then, this was before Monday Night Raw. I mean, sure, they were on the USA Network, but the WWF's bread and butter was UHF channels on Saturday mornings. Yep. So this is like, okay, not everybody watched this, but it drew enough interest that 33 million people tuned in to watch that.
It's almost
33 million.
That's amazing.
People.
I never knew this.
You think Raw that's on today, if they're lucky, when they were on TV, they used to draw maybe 3 million. Yeah. During the Stone Cold Rock era, they may have been 6 million. That's a lot of people, 6 million.
Sure.
But 33 million people on a Friday night at 8 o'clock on the East Coast, which means that was 5 p.m. on the West Coast. Yeah. People were still getting work, and they're sitting there watching this. That could never happen today.
No.
There isn't anybody in wrestling today that is in the same stratosphere as Hulk Hogan
No, not
and
even
those
close.
guys from the 80s.
Not even
I'm sorry you're a fan out there, but it's true.
Not even close.
All right?
Not even close.
All respect to Stone Cold and The Rock.
Sure.
They may have made more money than Hogan because there was more avenues to make money out of. There was the internet. There was, more pay-per-views and this and that. But if, I hate to say this, but if Stone Cold dies tomorrow, it's not going to get the same impact as when Hogan died.
Unfortunately. I mean, but the two of them, you can't take anything away from either.
No, I respect both of them, and I was fans of both of them. But it's just it's like we talked in a future episode with Eddie Deason. If you weren't around for Beatlemania, you don't understand.
Exactly, that's
if
good.
you were around for Hulkamania and WrestleMania when it first was around, that you had to live through it to experience it.
Yeah, and we
to
did.
know what we're talking about.
I can remember watching the water settle the score. I mean, I was
In
like
1985.
Yeah, no, it was on what night of the week was that on?
That was maybe a Tuesday or a Thursday.
I remember watching that.
And that's what set up the first WrestleMania.
Yeah, exactly.
And they had the tie-in with MTV. Vince McMahon and Dick Ebersol doesn't get much credit as he does. He was the guy who was the president of the NBC Sports.
Yep.
Who went? He said he looked at it and goes, you know what? I got to get this.
Yeah.
On NBC, and of course Saturday night's main event used to take over for Saturday Night Live 1 week out of the month.
Isn't that awesome?
And they drew better ratings than Saturday Night Live.
Of course.
So, Quincy over there playing the drums over there.
Don't rattle the cables, dear.
But it was just a shock. I mean, all right, we know all about he did steroids. And if you look at all the wrestlers who have died in the last 30 years, all of them have died from heart attacks, heart failure. All right, it's not because they had too many cheeseburgers.
Right.
It's because they were ingesting steroids into their bodies in the 1980s. And
they did it all for us.
And they'll all admit that. And I'm sure there was a lot of, nose candy in the 80s. I mean, that shit catches up to you.
Yeah.
I mean, it took like Roddy Piper, when he was young, Randy Savage when he was young. Hogan at least made it into his 70s.
Yeah. 71.
But it's just not the same. That Hulk Hogan is gone.
But I do have some important information that I garnered just before I came up here.
What's that?
Real American Beer is carrying on. They've announced Hulk Hogan's Real. Remember, I autographed the
Of
can?
course, yeah, it's right over there. Well, he also did it. I think the WWE also bought into that.
Oh, did they really? Okay.
So the last time Hogan appeared on camera was when he came out and he got booed in California because all those liberals out there,
That was. I swear that was all just doctored footage. I'm sorry,
but they now
you can't get a full house of wrestling fans that boo Hulk Hogan unless they just.
Well, they're not wrestling fans anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
They're internet wrestling fans.
Yeah, that's right. It's a whole different ball.
Those people that were at that, I don't even know what it was, like a Monday Night Raw or whatever it was, didn't experience Hulkamania in the heyday. All right, did he do stupid things in his personal life? Yeah, we all do.
Listen, we're all human. I tell you right now, you don't want to know the skeletons in my closet. Skeletons bunk. That's what. Thank you.
That devious little laugh over there.
But you're right. I mean, I was unlike you. I was not ashamed of my enthusiasm for Hogan. And when I was at the Garden, he came out. I lost it. I was clapping. I was psyched.
You were going crazy?
Yeah. I can remember my friend said he was there with his older brother one time, and Hogan come out, and they both gave him the thumbs down. He looked at them. He looked right at them, and he just went, no, and went over the other side of the ring. He looked at them, and he didn't, no, I'm not going to talk to you guys. And went over the other side.
I remember the first time I met Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
It was June 6th, 1987.
Wow.
He was in a match with Harley Race at the Boston Garden. It was a Texas death match.
Oh, man, that sounds like my kind of match.
And the reason I got to meet him was I went to, my mother wanted to go to this for the first time, all right?
Did a crush on Harley?
No.
He's very handsome man. He's very handsome
Well, it was
man.
handsome Harley Race. No, because I had been going for maybe a year or so at this point in time. And she was like, I have to see what the fascination of what this was. And my grandmother, her mother used to go to the Garden back in like the 50s or the 40s and the 50s. And she used to say, she used to throw stuff at the wrestlers. I only know she probably was the one who blinded Freddie Blassie.
With the egg?
With the egg. So my mother went, never went again. She goes, those people were insane.
Yeah.
She wasn't talking about the wrestlers. She was talking about the fans.
Yeah.
She was scared.
Oh, yeah. It can be scary.
So I went out to get popcorn before it was
How
after
awesome is that popcorn?
the second match of the night. I don't remember what it was. And I went out to the concession stand. Now, if you were fans of the old Boston Garden, know the layout. they had the parking garage, and then you had to walk from the parking garage through the lobby to get to the locker room.
Oh, yeah.
Which was the Bruins and Celtics locker room. So I'm out there getting popcorn. There was no one there because they were all watching the matches. And then I look out of the corner of my eye and I see this giant wearing a headband, the Randy Savage glasses, and a leather, I think it was a blue leather jacket and a giant duffel bag. And I'm like, that's fucking Hulk Hogan. And I go up to him, hey, I marked out. I go, hey, okay, brother. And he slapped my hand before he went in. I went back, I just met fucking Hulk Hogan. And she's like, no, you didn't. He's going to come out wrestling. And 2 matches later, he came out and him and Harley Race
That's cool.
At the Texas Death Match. But so I can say that was my first encounter meeting the Hulkster. But it's something you'll never forget.
And looking back a couple of years ago, I don't know if you remember, on this very podcast we discussed, I was ruminating over whether or not to pony up the money to go see him at his beach shop down in Orlando when Tasha and I would take. And looking back now, I kind of regret that I didn't. But again, I think it was $300 or $400, which is kind of pricey. But
it is kind of pricey.
But now I kind of wish I did it.
I gifted you a Hulk Hogan autograph.
You did, and it's suitable for framing. It's beautiful, and I really want to. You know what? Let me ask you a question. It
was 11 by 14, wasn't it?
It's a decent
nice
size,
one,
and I have that protected. I have one of Stone Cold as well. And I want to get these things framed, but I'm always saying to myself, do you think they take those things and duplicate them and just throw them in the frame and then keep the original autographs?
No.
You don't think so?
No. Half the people wouldn't even know who that guy was. I mean,
that's true.
Whoever's working there now. I hope not, because I have a ton of my autographs framed. I hope they're not just like Xerox.
I mean, you never thought of that? That's how sick I am.
Well, you know who used to do that?
Glenn?
Jeff.
Oh, really?
He used to do that because he had a lot of...
Sorry, Glenn.
Glenn probably did a lot of other different things.
He was sitting there like...
But Jeff was very smart because he would take his famous autographs that he had, like Jack Nicholson, and he would get them Xeroxed.
You did tell me this,
carbon copy on photo paper and frame that and store the original. So if someone ever did break into his house, they would steal a Xerox and not even know it.
Yeah.
So...
That's a good idea.
I don't think you have any problems bringing it up to like Michael's or some frame joint.
Yeah, because I still got I bought a beautiful 8x10 of Don Rickles, and I have that card you gave me.
Oh, the album.
I want to reframe it. No, it was just a little...
Oh, the thing, it was matted with the album.
Yeah, but I just want to take it out and switch out the picture and everything and upscale it.
Oh, God, I remember when I got that one.
Yeah, I got to do that.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, I had the opportunity to meet Hogan many, many times at autograph sessions, but the best one was behind the scenes at WCW. We were friends with Kevin Sullivan, and every time they came to the New England area, we would go to these shows, and Kevin would introduce, hey, this is our friend, and Hulk, the president meet your brother, and I'm just like, it's Hulk Hogan.
Yeah,
I mean, this is like, this is meeting. If I was a baseball fan, it's like meeting Babe Ruth.
Yeah,
it's just a.
And he was really enjoying this beach shop thing he had going. He used to do karaoke there, I think, every Tuesday night.
No, it was on Monday for Monday Night Raw.
Was it Monday?
Yeah.
Well, it had nothing to do with wrestling. He used to just do karaoke.
But they would have it on playing, though.
Oh, I get it. I'm sorry. Okay, so there was on Monday nights then.
And sympathies to the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart.
Close. Yeah.
I mean, they were close as brothers.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he was actually his real life manager. In real life, getting bookings and whatnot. Because every time Hogan was at something, Jimmy Hart was there.
Sure.
And Jimmy Hart's a hell of a nice guy as well.
Oh, yeah, no, I actually have met Jimmy Hart. He was wicked nice. I talked to him about his musical career and everything.
The Gentrys.
Yeah, the
Keep on dancing.
Very good. Man, geez, I was blanking on that. I was trying to get out of that quick because I said, I'm not going to remember the name of that band. TC.
What a career that Jimmy Hart has had.
Yeah.
I mean, he's had 2 different careers.
And he still looks great.
He's 81 years old, and he looks like he just got off the big cart at WrestleMania 3.
Exactly. Really.
Very nice man.
Yeah, it's sad. It's a big loss, and it's just you just don't think of the world without Hulk Hogan. I know that sounds like people say, "Well, come on, will you?" But it's just somebody you always thought would be there.
Here we are, 50 years later, almost 50 years after Elvis. And he's more popular now than he was when he was alive.
That's true.
So the same thing with Hogan. Every time, every WrestleMania from now until they end, they will always have that clip of him body slamming Andre, him putting the hand to the ears, and the merchandising that's going to come out now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, his kids are going to be very, very wealthy, even though they already are wealthy. They lost their father. It's sad. We've all lost our parents and whatnot.
Absolutely.
So for them, it's totally different. But having like my father, wasn't famous. He was famous to me because of my father.
Of course.
But the world is mourning your father's passing.
Yeah.
I mean, and like I said, Ozzy Osbourne was a huge name in the rock and roll industry, but did he ever tour like Australia or? Yeah, I mean, Hogan was everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean,
the Japs are probably going hard right
he
now.
was Ichiban.
Yeah.
That was his nickname of it, which means number one.
Yeah.
So in Japan right now, I guarantee you they've dimmed the lights in Tokyo and all that other stuff. Which was really cool before we started this. Madison Square Garden put a big tribute of Hogan.
Oh, nice.
Outside. I mean, you know what? That's the building that Hogan built.
Yeah.
I mean,
now looking back now, the old timers that preceded us, when they put up that tribute for Bruno, it's kind of like
rightly so. I mean, Bruno Sammartino was the Hulk Hogan of the Northeast.
Yeah, yeah.
No, never taking anything away from that guy. He was a true gentleman. He was. He basically, like I just said, he was the Hulk Hogan of the Northeast. Yeah. And we have to, if you're thinking of Hogan really wouldn't become what he was if it wasn't for superstar Billy Graham.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, he patented his lives.
He did, and he admitted it. He said it.
He said it at the 37th Annual Slammy Awards in 1987. They gave him the Hulk Hogan Real American Award. And he goes, a lot of us patent our lives after this guy, and if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be here. Hogan patented his career after him. Jesse Ventura.
100%.
Scott Steiner later on in his career.
Sure.
They all, were disciples of superstar Billy Graham.
I think back to the night we saw Tony Clifton live.
Oh, yes.
And at the end of the night, he invited everybody up on stage. Do you remember what you and I did when we were up on stage?
Jumped around like fools. I know that.
In the audience now, the people who didn't come up were in the audience still, and they were the.
Oh, that's right. We were doing the Hogan thing.
You started it, and we did that together up on the stage like that. And I was like, it was a nice feeling. Can you imagine Hogan like getting that kind of response
from 93,000 people?
And again, for people who don't understand, if you don't have a grasp of professional wrestling, at least what it was, you're never going to understand how. Like again, three guys in that little squared circle creating mass hysteria.
Yeah.
Just from bouncing off each other. What you did in your bedroom as a kid with your cousins and your brothers.
I got a text from a friend of mine today. He goes, everybody that was involved in the main event for WrestleMania 3 are now gone. Andre's gone. The referee, Joey Morella, died.
Bob Orton.
No, Bobby Heenan is gone. I'm talking about the main event.
Oh, you said WrestleMania 3?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought you said WrestleMania 1.
No, Bob Orton is still kicking.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I was trying to say that today, and I said, wait a minute. No, Bob Orton's the only one left.
Bob Orton is still alive. Mr. T is still alive.
Yep. And that's it, yeah.
But everybody else is gone.
Yeah.
I mean, Christ, even Muhammad Ali and Pat Patterson who were involved in the very...
And Liberace.
For the first main event at WrestleMania. But WrestleMania 3 for me is going to be my favorite WrestleMania of all time.
Yeah.
Because it was like a movie. You could watch it a million times. Even though you know what the outcome of everything, it just had that special awe about it because it was just massive.
I remember me and my buddies got a tons of pizza. It was on in March.
It was March 29th, 1987.
I had the windows open in my apartment on 8th Street on the 3rd floor, and... it was just great. Had my buddies over some pizza and watching WrestleMania 3. And when Hogan slammed Andre, we all just went, holy shit. We all just like went back, because it was, you didn't expect it. You thought like, is he going to cave under him? What's going to happen?
Well, even though if you were a longtime wrestling fan, Andre and Hulk fought a million times before, and Hogan slammed him a million times. Yeah. But Andre wasn't as big as he was at WrestleMania 3.
No. He was packing the pounds.
I mean, he was close to maybe 500 pounds. Yeah. And he had the back brace on. You could see it. It was slipping out. I mean, Andre really couldn't do much. That Hogan carried that match.
Yeah.
And it was just a spectacle. It's just, it
all came down to that one moment.
The irresistible force meeting immovable object.
Yeah.
And forever in my mind, when I saw that, I was like, whoa. Yeah. Because I met Andre, and I was like, how did anybody pick that guy up?
I know.
He looked like a Volkswagen with legs. It's the only way you can describe it. It was amazing. It was a horrible thing that Hulk Hogan passed away.
Yeah.
And there's scumbags out there that were just like ripping him apart and whatnot. Okay, nobody's perfect.
Well, unfortunately, that's the culture we live in now, where people they get off on tearing everybody down. If you have one little thing, they're just going to grab onto and just tear you down till there's nothing left of it.
Even the President of the United States, Donald Trump, put out a nice tribute.
Sure.
Because you got to remember, their friendship goes back to WrestleMania 4.
Yeah, it had long before he came out in the Republican National Convention.
Right, before he was anything.
They were pals for a long time.
Sure. And who's ever going to forget that speech that he did at the Republican National Convention last year? The place popped like he was in Madison Square Garden again.
And why can't he come out? Everyone else, all the other celebrities come out and say what they
No
want.
one cares about what George Clooney has to say, all right?
Pussy.
No one, obviously, none of your powers work because none of the people you supported won.
Exactly.
So take that, brother. Drop the big leg on him.
All of them.
But yeah, I mean, and I just found out, Quincy, did you hear about this? Another celebrity death. Alfie Wise, who played Tony in your favorite movie, Hooper, passed away.
So I heard, not just no more than like 10 minutes ago. All right, people were in the wrong places. Now we're going to move it all downstairs. Let's go, let's move it.
Now,
and you know who posted that?
Who posted that?
Eddie Deazen's buddy Steve Joyner put that on Facebook.
Really?
I just found out my friend Alfie Wise passed away. Alfie was in countless films and TV shows. Most of his filmography was working with Burt Reynolds in films like The Cannonball Run, Hooper, Smokey and the Bandit, and TV shows like The Fall Guy and Evening Shade. He was a real mensch. He wasn't tall in stature, but he was a giant in talent. Godspeed, Alfie. A life well led.
Well, you can remember his classic scene with Jackie Gleason in Smokey and the Bandit.
Oh, yeah.
When he saw that, I mean, this was after the car was already falling apart.
Yes.
And he just, Jackie just like ripped him a new one and whatnot. But yeah, Alfie Wise, I will always remember that because Quincy's favorite movie of all time is Hooper. And we used to watch that movie all the time. And I watched that even long before I met you. And I always knew who Alfie Wise was. He reminded me of Scotty Schwartz.
yeah, he does that look.
From The Christmas Story.
He's a better cut of his jib.
A little cut of his jib?
No, I said he has a better cut of his jib. Scotty Schwartz looks a little doughy. This guy, he had more going on in the face department.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
I'm trying to say he was a handsome man. Okay, he was easy on the eyes. Scotty looks a little dirty. Looks like he jerks.
Well, he was in. Well, he actually couldn't do that because he was in porn and he couldn't get it up.
Exactly.
I remember South Boston Jeff. I remember him saying this. Jeff's favorite adult entertainer was Julie Ashton. Remember her?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, she went on to host. I think
she only have one leg or something.
No, God, no. She was beautiful.
A hook.
And she went on to host, I think, like one of the first type of podcasts on the Playboy Network.
Yeah.
Back in the day, and when Jeff got his picture with Julie Ashton down at the, what's the famous strip club in Brockton?
Foxy Lady.
Foxy Lady. He was in heaven for about 10 years. And he goes, I can't believe Scotty Schwartz couldn't get hard with her. I mean, Jesus Christ, she could make anything hard. And then when we saw him at a convention, because he's now an agent, and he goes, you couldn't even get it up for fucking Julie Ashton, you little shit.
Oh, she's quite pretty.
Oh, she was very, very good.
Well,
so,
okay.
But yeah, that was the Julie Ashton story with Scotty Schwartz with Jeff. He was offended that Scotty Schwartz was going to get a movie and work with her, and Jeff would have cut off his left arm.
I mean, he had a good point. Jesus.
You see that picture? I haven't seen her in a while. Oh. She kind of looks like in that picture. We're not going to show this on the screen.
No.
But she looks like Betty Childs from Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why Jeff had a thing for her, because it was on Revenge of the Nerds.
And even in this one with her clothes on, she looks kind of cute.
Well, let's see this one. Oh, yeah. No, you should. Jeff was like a little puppy dog around her.
See that one, Quincy? She's playing with the hem of her...
I didn't know the Count from Sesame Street was here.
She's playing with the hem of her skirt. She's just revealing it just so much.
Just a teeny little bit.
Just a teeny little bit.
Her lacy underwear.
Wasn't she in Caddyshack? No, that was Lacey Underall.
Lacey Underall.
Oh, okay. She's dead too.
Is she?
Yeah, Cindy Morgan died a couple years ago.
Damn.
They're all dying. Oh, Bull literally drooled on her on her 8x10s.
No wonder she's dead.
Down in New Jersey. She was like,
I just got the douche chills there.
Oh, I talked to Bull today. He was very heartbroken over the passing
Yeah.
of. See, he knew him on a first name basis.
Oh yeah, no.
So he was
pictures of them
He's like, there's a picture on the screen right now. This is from 1986. Bull worked in the Bull Gang at the Boston Garden, and Bull's job was to escort the wrestlers in and out of the building. And there he is with Hulk Hogan, and I believe this was the summer of '86. And I believe the match that he had was with Randy Savage, because you can see the bandage on Hogan's head. So he bled that night. And when I called Bull today, I thought I was going to smarten him up. And he goes, I just heard about Terry. I just heard about Terry. So Even Bull Montana was heartbroken.
Yeah, I mean,
over this.
Touched a lot of people. One of my nephews texted me, and he's like, "Wow, a legend." He was very. Because I used to take those guys back. I probably took him to see Hogan when he was part of the NWO at that point, because they were a little after the.
So that would have been that was almost that was just a little over 29 years ago.
In the
when
90s,
it was 96.
Yeah, that was
when he
probably
became the NWO.
Yeah.
So
Like I said, that's tough on a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, when I heard that, I said word for word. I said that is going to be tough on a lot of people who didn't love Hulk Hogan.
Well, when you think about it, this just came into my head. He may have been one of the most photographed human beings in history.
Yeah.
Because you think they were on the road every night of the week, 7 nights a week, in front of crowds that were, 20, 30,000 people in these buildings.
Yeah.
All of them had cameras at the time.
Yeah, even back in the old days.
And they were taking pictures. So he may be, I'm not saying he's the most photographed, but I'm saying he's probably one of the most photographed human beings in history.
It's funny you should say that. Like, I went to countless Bruins and Celtics games. A few people might have a camera, but when you went to the Garden for a match, everyone had a camera.
Sure.
And when something big happened, all the flashes
went
went
off
at the same time.
Yeah. So I have photos of him somewhere.
Yeah,
I brought my camera to there. It's just when you think about that. I mean, baseball players, they play how many games a year?
Oh God, I don't even know anymore.
What is it, like 100 and something games a year?
Probably.
Whatever it is. But they're not on the road 7 days a week.
No.
350 days out of the year.
No.
Just
That's
imagine.
a hard life.
That's why a lot of them died, because they needed to take uppers and downers to even survive. But can you just imagine being in front of that many people in your underwear every day of the week?
And probably just having the time of your life doing it. I don't care what anybody says. They didn't do this because, they had fun doing it.
Sure, they're making a lot of money back in the day.
And not only that, but just think of it. Just think of the fun. It probably never got old.
I remember it was in Bobby Heenan's book, or maybe even Hulk's book. He talked about how heavy the road travel was, especially in like 86, 87, 88. He was talking about how him and Orndorff with Bobby Heenan did a show on Long Island at the Nassau Coliseum. They put the match on 4th. Everybody's like, why is the main event on 4th? So, well, they did that for 2 reasons. One, they wanted to set up a rematch coming up, so at the end of the show they could announce a rematch is going to happen, next month. But in reality they were on 4th, which meant you were on probably like around 8:30, 8:45. They were out there for the 10 minutes. They ran out of the ring, got in a limo, went to a private jet, flew to Chicago, which is an hour behind us, and did the exact same match 1,000 miles away.
Wow.
So
that's cool.
So because of the time difference, and they were on last in Chicago. So here they are. They're here in Long Island, New York. They're wrestling. They did their match. He goes, we didn't change. We just put on a jacket. They had a private limo, a private jet waiting at the airport. We all get on in the thing with our outfits on and whatnot and fly to Chicago. And there's a limo waiting and drives them right to the building. And the agents are like, you're on next. Just go to the ring.
That's Elvis. That's Elvis right there. That's what they learned that from the King.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Imagine doing that.
Yeah.
You wait. I mean, God knows where they were in that morning. They could have been doing like promotional stuff in New York City, and then all around, the tri-state area. Then they go to the show, wrestle, run out of the building, get in a limo, fly to Chicago, do the exact same match, then go to the hotel, maybe get something to eat, because guess what? The next day, you're doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Speaking of Elvis, I'm remembering an interview. I think I wanted to talk to you about this. Somebody at one time mentioned that Elvis had been approached to get involved in Mid-South wrestling.
Sure, Jerry Lawler.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, and they had approached him on it, and he was not, let's say, against it.
Sure.
They were trying to figure out the right way to do it. It was right near the end, unfortunately. Imagine that.
It would have been King versus King.
Yeah.
That would have trumped the Andy Kaufman stuff.
Imagine Honky Tonk hitting him with a guitar. How that would have put Honky Tonk over. I mean, hitting the King
with that would
he
have
would have been on the front page of every sports Pro Wrestling Illustrated. You name it.
If you go back and look, there's a lot of famous actors that are huge wrestling fans.
Yeah.
Henry Winkler is a huge fan. Danny DeVito,
Debbie Harry from Blondie
was a huge fan. Even Andy Warhol was a huge fan.
Yeah,
he was always at Madison Square Garden.
He knew. This is
entertainment. This is the purest form. Andy Kaufman, of course, the number one celebrity that was a wrestling fan. Because I don't care. All right, it's a show. We know it's a show. We know what they're doing. I hate to use the word staged, but it's a performance. They're performance artists. And unlike these scumbags like Robert De Niro who get like 43 takes to get it right, you're live on TV in front of 33 million people. There's no retakes.
No.
You have to either know how to recover real quick or cover things up or you're that good.
Yeah.
There's just, I mean, there's a lot of disrespect for people who are professional wrestlers.
I wish I had your memory because Jim Cornette recently tried to explain wrestling to people, and he had this wonderful
about the guys fighting on the road.
Side of the road. Yeah.
That
was. I wish I could remember that because that nailed it.
Sure.
You know, the little guy getting the shit beat out of him, and you have the chance to see him get back at the other guy or something. I wish I could remember.
Right. No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And I was like, I'm listening to it. He's got it. He nailed it.
Well, that guy's been a wrestling fan since he was like a week old.
Yeah. Interesting to see what he'll say about Hogan. I don't know what their relationship is.
I'm sure. Well, I'm probably sure that he'll give him his due respect for changing wrestling and making it the most popular. Because I don't care what anybody says. No one down in the Mid-South area that was drawing, he was the world's heavyweight champion. Okay, no one west of that cared about him.
Yeah.
I mean, Hulk Hogan was the guy who made wrestling what it is.
Yeah.
He made everybody in wrestling rich.
Yeah. Because amongst my group of friends, there was maybe 2 of us that were involved in it. Once that all broke, everybody was watching. See what you've been missing?
My mother went to it, I told you.
That's right.
She would have never gone to that nonsense.
And when I would watch it, my mother would say, your grandmother used to watch that all the time. My grandmother, who's from Ireland, would sit there and watch that.
Well, so was mine. Maybe she threw the egg at Freddie Blassie. And
Some Irish bitch hit me right in the eye with an egg.
I saw that old Irish hag throw the egg at me.
There's flies going around there.
I mean, is it oversaturated now? Yes, of course. It's too much of it.
I mean,
out there.
That's the understatement of the year. I try so hard to find a hidden gem, something that I can sink my teeth into, but it's just the songs and the entrances, and I mean, God, these Seth Rollins.
Are they better athletes today than they were 30 years ago? Yes.
But it wasn't about the athleticism.
But it's not. No, it wasn't. It was about the characters, the over-the-top characters. Yeah. It was like watching. I mean, is Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone, Shakespearean actors? No. But you fell in love with their characters because they were over the top.
Yeah. And you could overlook things like, we'll take Cook's car. Things
he
like
won't
that.
be needing it. Right. Or Stallone's, go for it. And
I just hate when people go, it's all fake. It's all fake. I mean,
so it's a movie. Everything is fake.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
everything is fake.
Everything
taught me
in
that.
This
You're
world,
right.
Everything in the world is fake.
Except this.
No, this is 100%. This is a shoot.
This is really good.
But I'm just saying that it's just it's a big loss because a lot of people's childhood died today.
Yeah.
I mean, they may have never known this guy personally.
No.
But he's been there their entire lives.
Yeah.
Or some of them like us before we watched wrestling before that. But it's just saying that we were there. It's like we said, you were there when the Beatles were on Ed Sullivan.
Yeah.
You were there when Elvis was on Ed Sullivan.
Yeah.
You were there when Hulk Hogan beat the Iron Sheik.
Yeah, yeah. Oh.
And the shockwaves that send throughout not just the wrestling world but pop culture.
Yeah. And kudos to the Iron Sheik.
Yeah.
We always thank Hogan.
Our good friend.
But he had to be they needed a villain, and he was the best villain.
He was the ultimate villain. There was no bigger villain than the Iron Sheik.
And you're not going to have that kind of a pop from Hulk Hogan if there's nobody.
Right? Can you imagine if he beat Bob Backlund? No one would care.
No.
But to go in
would
there,
not be on MTV.
To go, the Iron Sheik beat Bob Backlund.
Yeah.
The guy who held the title for 6 years. The Sheik's roaming around. This is right after the Iranian hostage crisis.
Yeah.
And you needed a Superman.
He's got a flag with the Ayatollah's face on it.
You needed the ultimate hero. You needed a Rocky Balboa. You needed a Superman.
Yeah.
You needed a Luke Skywalker. Hulk Hogan was that in real life. He wasn't an actor playing. He was, you know what I'm saying, but he wasn't, and such as Hulk Hogan. Mm-hmm. He was Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
He had to be that character 24 hours a day, and it's just if you never experienced that back in that day, the magic that it was.
It's hard to explain.
It was just something it was in your blood.
Now you know how recently in the episode we were talking about watching movies at certain times of the year now. So here it is now. We're in the wake of Hogan passing.
Right.
Are you going to do any tribute watching this weekend at all, do you think?
Oh, not even to this weekend. I'll be going on YouTube tonight.
So I was thinking What do I want to watch? Now, I had the DVD box set, okay, of his, the best of Hogan or whatever.
Sure.
You have to put all those things out. I'm going to watch. I'm going to dabble in there because I like some of those old matches.
Right.
You know, that you don't see everyone. But I really want to watch, for some reason, No Holds Barred.
Oh, I watched that recently, like a month or two
you
ago.
really?
Yes, I love that movie.
What do I smell? Dookie.
Doogie.
You know who almost stole that movie from him? Stan Hansen.
Look at the leany little wangers.
Here's another.
It ain't even worth it.
Could I do something that's original to add to the tribute?
Go
I don't
right
know.
ahead. Quincy.
Can you?
I don't know. What are you going to do?
Yeah, this is Big Ferrari here. When I heard that Hulk Hogan just passed on, I think it's a terrible loss here. I mean, the world of wrestling's never here going to be the same.
Who was that supposed to be?
Vic, when you mentioned,
Who the fuck is Vic?
come
Freeze,
on,
Freeze?
Vic. When you mentioned the guy from Taxi, I love this other character.
You're talking Vic Ferrari?
Is that what
Andy
it-
Kaufman's
Yeah.
alter ego on Taxi? What does that have to do with anything we're talking about?
I'm having some fun adding to the tribute.
Oh, whatever you want to do. This is your time. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I didn't know you were
this is
taking
Vic
it.
Ferrari here. I think it's a terrible loss. Yeah, when I heard that Hulk Hogan died, I mean, wrestling's never going to be the same.
I love your improv.
Alter my lifestyle to fit the fast lane.
So is that original or what?
That was awesome, Quincy.
It was. It really was.
Hulk Hogan is looking down going, that was great, brother.
Yep.
I mean, brother, we're going to miss you here in the world of NWF. So here's a salute. Say hi to all the wrestlers, and we will continue to try to uphold the title of wrestling. How's that?
Beautiful.
Uphold the title of wrestling.
You know, it's unbelievable. I'm just ready to rip my shirt off right now like the Hulkster.
Now, speaking of tributes,
Right.
I just want to point out, go look at, if you're out there, look at Diamond Dallas Page, what he wrote. It was probably the nicest one I read so far. And Jake the Snake had a nice one as well. He said, thanks for paving the way for us.
Eric Bischoff, who was a very close friend of Hulk Hogan,
Yeah.
said, thanks for the house, brother.
Yeah. see,
Because, these people made money with Hogan.
It's true. It is 100% true. And I think a lot of those people that were kind of bitter towards him at the end are probably sitting there going, I should have made right. I should have made it right.
I mean,
I know Bubba the Love Sponge is saying that.
Back in the day, when they gave out the booking sheets in the 80s, they had 3 shows running around the country. All the wrestlers looked to see if they were booked on the Hogan show because they knew they were going to make a mortgage payment that week.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it just hate him, love him, the guy did it. He made the sport of professional wrestling what it is today.
He was a real American.
He was a
fought for
real American.
the rights of every man.
Tampa born.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my favorite places to vacation is down in the Tampa area.
Really?
Yeah. Saw Kenny Chesney there a few years ago. I liked it. It was a beautiful area. And I really thought I was going to run into him while I was down there. But I was so close. I should have went to the Orlando show and the day he was there doing his autographs. But it just didn't happen.
So now when I say, why don't you come down to these autograph shows?
You're right. God forbid.
Oh, I can't go. I got to go to, I'm going to Clam Fest 25.
Clam Fest. I love it.
Don't you think that Jeff would...
I love getting my balls busted.
Don't
People
you
don't think I
you
do.
think Jeff would love to
Yes.
be able to go down to
and
Chilla?
You know what? You're right. You're absolutely fucking right. You're right. You are 100% right.
I mean, when we were talking to Eddie Deason...
Listen, I don't want any of these hounds farting in the car constantly because I'll just leave.
You may get overwhelmed by the scent of Sharpie,
Oh, that I can handle.
but no, they're very professional.
No one soils themselves or anything like that. There's no soiling.
We're not bringing Bull. All right? Well, sorry, Bull, if you're listening, but you know it's true. That the time you and
I did drive him to New Hampshire.
you and Tom Hanks were very close at one time, and for the rest of the ride home, you were known as Forrest Dump. All right? So he will not be joining us on trips down there.
Okay.
But
I would love him to if he could just control his...
no. I do not want him to go because
all
I have to
right.
pay
didn't
for
wanna-
him.
Okay, that's right. Yeah.
I have to pay for him.
You got enough to work.
You a big fan of Huey Lewis?
Big time.
He's going to be at Chilla signing
Is he
autographs.
really?
Yes, he is.
No, do we go to Chiller or do we go to Chill Out?
We're going to go to both.
Whoa!
But I have to go to Chiller first because Huey Lewis is on my bucket list of Back to the
That's
Future
true.
people.
That's a big one for you.
I've never met him.
That's a big one.
So-
I'm a huge Huey Lewis.
I mean, I was telling one of the autograph collectors because he asked me. I said, "There's a big name coming in." He goes, "We have to play this game." who is it?
Yeah.
So I have to give him hints and whatnot.
Nice. What was the hint you gave him?
The hint I said, well, this guy was, had a number one hit songs from 1983 to like 1990. I mean, every song that Huey did was pretty much on the charts.
What do you think he's getting? What do you think he's getting?
I want to do drug. Want to make me sick. Want to make me crash my car. Want to drug.
Is that one of the lyrics? Yeah.
Well, yeah, in between like.
I like how he added all the da-da-da-das.
Yeah, that's how he played this guitar. And I want a new drug. Come on, who didn't love Huey Lewis in the News?
I don't know. How much is he going to charge? I have no idea. But
what do you think?
It's going to be north of 60. I guarantee that. But you know what? For someone like him, I don't mind because he's not one of these whores that are at every show. And he's a music legend.
Yeah.
And everybody knows Huey Lewis.
Now you're going to get it Back to the Future.
I'm going to get the soundtrack soundbite.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm not going to get an 8x10 of you. I was talking to CJ about this, and he's like, "Oh, I maybe want to get a." I think he's going to go with the album as well. But
is he going to come this time?
Well, he's working on it.
Put it in the papers, CJ.
He's working on it.
I'm working on my gut. I'm working on it.
But I think he may want to go down because one of his favorite crushes of all times is going to be down there.
Who's down there? Lex Luger?
No, Erica Aleniak.
Who's that?
She was on Baywatch. She was also the girl that popped out. She popped out of the cake in Under Siege.
Under Siege, yes, I know who.
And she was the little girl that Elliot kissed in E.T.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. That's his Leah Thompson.
I could see. Okay, I see that.
That's ever since I've met CJ, which is going on, oh my God, like 8 years ago. And he's like, if you ever find out where Eric Aleniak is going to go, I'm going to hold you to that.
I don't have a lot of female autographs. Isn't that funny? You got me one. You got me, because I couldn't go to. You got me Mink Stoll from the John Waters films.
She really a female?
Yes.
All right.
You're thinking of Divine.
Okay, Stoll. Well, yeah.
Mink Stoll is.
Yes, I did get Mink Stoll, yeah. And I remember Jeff had some weird story that he mentioned her, and she was just like offended by it or something. Oh,
I miss Jeff, because Jeff's the only one I could talk to about those movies.
Yes, I'm sorry. we do not, we're not the John Waters fans that you are. But any final thoughts on the Hulkster?
Rest in peace, Hulk Hogan, and thank you for everything. And
thank you, Hulk.
Yeah.
We're going to miss you.
Thanks for taking my emotions on the roller coaster ride that was professional wrestling. And as much as I knew what it was all about, it was still real to me, damn it.
When it comes crashing down and it hurts inside.
Yeah. Very well put, TC.
Maybe someone else. Do you think someone will try to be a new Hulk Hogan?
Never.
No, there's no way anyone could match that energy. Unless you tried.
Well, I know, like, there's a lot of younger people, maybe.
It doesn't matter. He came along at the right time and the right place.
I'll tell you right now, young people these days, they aren't worth the shit. All right?
You don't think someone is going to try to be Hulk Hogan?
They'll always try, but they're never going to be. How many people?
Bootios and all that stuff.
How many musicians have tried to be Elvis?
Who's the chick that runs down in the ring and she's got that ponytail that's like 8 feet long? I'm done with new wrestling. I don't care.
She'll be working at Burger King in about 4 months.
Not with that hair. Not making my burgers, I'll tell you. Sorry.
Quincy, wrap up the show.
Well, we want to thank you for this very emergency watching, but it was worth watching, of the loss of every single one of our favorite celebrities, Hulk Hogan, and every one of you celebrities. We're going to miss you. Does anyone have any final thoughts or any final words?
No, that's why you're wrapping the show.
Okay, well
that's
then.
Your job, for Christ's sakes.
Then thank you for watching, and we hope we don't lose any more celebrities. But you never know. That's why we have to, have shows like this. So please drive home carefully. And remember, we never close.
Brother.